Hi, I'm Ricky. I am one half of the Tender Trainers. So we at the Tender Trainers, we train subcontractors on how to tender effectively. So basically, our goal is to help you make this process as simple and successful as possible, so you can win those bigger contracts with less stress. Yeah, I try and do this on a regular basis. So feel free to jump on and ask me a question, or also DM me a topic that you might find good for me to cover. Okay, without further ado, let's get into it. So this week, the topic that I chose to talk about is quantity versus quality with your tenders. So, i.e., is it better to just go for more tenders? Now, I hear this approach from a few different people around, and the strategy really is get as many tenders as you can in, and one of them is bound to stick, right? So maybe this approach does work for some, but I'm going to speak from my experience, which includes both doing tenders for subcontractors, doing tenders for main contractors, as well as being on the receiving end of tenders from subcontractors on behalf of main contractors. So the two main issues I have with the quantity approach is one, we all have limited time and resources, right? And two, but I think more importantly, when you submit a tender, if you've rushed it and you haven't covered everything or thought the job out properly, now this really shows in your price and your submission when you're on the receiving end. So I could tell when the price that came back to me from a subcontractor is just something that they'd knocked up together and they hadn't properly looked at the drawings and thoroughly thought about the job. It does show. So, from my experience, you're better off spending more time on a better, more aligned opportunity or tender than less time on more. So, yeah, basically, my advice is choose quality over quantity. And that goes for both the projects that you go for as well as your price and submission. So, spend the time on getting it right on a proposal that the client's going to find hard to say no to and not award you the work, right? Rather than less time on more. Okay, so that kind of brings me to another important point that's aligned with this. The point is you should be selective with what you choose to go for, right? As I already mentioned before, we have limited time and resources, and this is true of tendering as well. But being selective, this will allow you to focus and spend more time on the opportunities that suit you and your company and allow you to submit a quality bid rather than a rushed bid on a job that you're more likely to win. So, in summary, being selective with what you choose to go for will mean that you can spend more time on better opportunities that suit your company. This will in turn increase your win rate. So, for me, it's quality over quantity for the win. Okay, right, that's it for today. A nice short one. I always try and keep them quite short. But yeah, stay tuned. I try and do these lives on a regular basis. So I'll cover another impactful tendering topic in the near future. So keep an eye out for that. If you've found this useful as well, we have a YouTube channel. If you look for the Tender Trainers, which has a bunch more free content on there, and we also hold roughly monthly uh, a Tender Talk, which is our free training session. DM me if you'd like to come to the next one. I'll make sure you get the invite. Okay, that's it. Thanks, and see you again soon.